What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here for AEW Rampage and SmackDown review for July 22nd, 2022. Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor will be here tomorrow night, but these shows don't even matter. This isn't even like the talking part of the show this week. The biggest news to ever come out of WWE finally dropped tonight. Vince McMahon has officially retired from World Wrestling Entertainment. He is gone from backstage. He is gone from all his positions. He is done. He is gone. He is out of here. We all know why it is, and it has nothing to do with him turning 77 very soon. It all has to do with optics. Obviously, as you know, for the last month or so, Vince McMahon has been under several investigations by the board of directors into misconduct, hush money, and so many other things. And here we come to today, and Vince McMahon, conveniently, right after the stock market closes, Vince McMahon calls it a career on being the man in charge of WWE. So, as we all know, Vince McMahon, he's been WWE, he's been the owner, CEO, and everything of WWE for decades. And it's been one of those things that he needed to go away. This needed to happen 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Like, we all saw from 2015 to 2019 the greatness that was NXT and what could have been main roster light at WWE if Vince McMahon would have stepped aside, and gave Triple H the power. But he didn't. He stuck in there. He stuck to his guns, and he made sure that he was the man in charge. Then, of course, all these allegations started coming out. All this other stuff started coming out. And we all know. Everyone knows. If none of this stuff happened, if none of this was going on, do you think that Vince McMahon would be retiring from WWE today? No. He would have been backstage in his normal chair, running SmackDown like he always does. But it's the simple fact as he knows something bad is going to come out of these if they even come out now, because he is gone. He has officially retired, so there is no actual reason why they have to continue on with the investigation if they don't want to. But it's just a way to save face for the company, because if Vince McMahon stayed in power or stayed in WWE and all these allegations came out and all of them were told to be true, it would have been a black guy on the WWE itself, and WWE would not be. I don't think WWE would be able to come back from it. It would be something that would hurt WWE very badly, and a lot of the stockholders and everything. It would have hurt WWE very much so. So now Vince is gone. What next? Well, we started this morning off with Triple H being put back into power as the head of talent relations, as he was all the way up until, I believe, September, October of last year, or whenever he was taken away from that. And, of course, John Laurinaitis was put in charge until he got put into these allegations, and he ended up getting relieved of his duties. So Triple H is back in charge. What is this going to do for the likes of NXT and everything else? Who knows? We'll have to just wait and see. Now, you're probably wondering, why did Vince McMahon do it today? Apparently, this has been in the talks for 10 days. The decision to get out was decided like 10 days ago. Why they waited till a Friday afternoon, conveniently after the stock market closes, is because it gives WWE the weekend to just show, yeah, Vince might be gone, but we're able to run the business. I think he had to do it today because he couldn't just do it tomorrow, or they couldn't make it official over the weekend because of business purposes or whatever. But yeah, if Vince McMahon would have came out on Monday and said, yep, I'm retiring and been done, then that would have been a disaster for WWE. So doing it on a Friday is very beneficial to WWE overall when it comes to the stock market and media and all that stuff. Now, of course, Stephanie McMahon is going to stay on as chairwoman and co-CEO with one Nick Khan. Will it always be that way? I do not know. It could be one of those things where Nick Khan's like, you know what? I don't need to be the CEO, put CEO. You do that. I'm going to be the president, whatever. So they're in charge of that. Triple H, of course, is in charge of talent relations. Who is going to go? Obviously, Bruce Pritchard is not long for the WWE world. He got fired by Stephanie the last time he got fired. And of course, Kevin Dunn, who Kevin Dunn probably had his last night as the main man running WWE's videos and everything, like the shows and everything, because it's been well documented that both Stephanie and Triple H cannot stand, do not like Kevin Dunn. And back when Triple H was at his height and power, and before Nick Khan came in, everybody was like, when Triple H takes over, everyone knows Kevin Dunn's out. Kevin Dunn is gone. Kevin Dunn is not long for the WWE. So Kevin Dunn will be gone in probably by Monday. We probably will not hear about Kevin Dunn being in WWE anymore. He's gone. Vince McMahon was his safety net, and when that safety net is gone, he's out. So Brock Lesnar. So sorry about that. So Kevin Dunn's going to be gone. Bruce Pritchard's going to be gone eventually. They're both going to be done. It's just is what it is. Who's going to take this spot over? I do not know. I don't like probably whoever was Triple H's main guy in NXT, if they're still there, probably going to take over that position for Kevin Dunn. Triple H might take over the reins of Raw and SmackDown creative once Kevin Dunn is out of there. But that is something that I do not have any idea. We'll just have to wait and see. So, yeah, that is going to be great. It is a great day for professional wrestling because now you can't sit there and just talk and bash on Vince McMahon for everything. He did bring professional wrestling to the mainstream. He did build the WWE to what it is today. You cannot take that away from him. No matter what it happened, you cannot take that stuff away from him. He did so much great in the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s. But it just like 2010s and up, it just was one of those things that's nah. Nah, he needed to go. People have been saying it for at least 10 to 15 years that Vince McMahon needed to go. And he did it to himself. He did it to himself because this stuff that happens, these hush money deals, all of that, it's one of those things that you don't, as a person in greater power, never, ever, ever put yourself in a position like that because eventually it's going to get out. And eventually it's going to destroy you if you don't go away first. Can we thank Vince McMahon for everything he did for professional wrestling? Yes and no. He did great things. He built WWE to give us the product that it is, but we also have to look at how it's been over the last 10-ish years and how it's just not. It hasn't. I know everyone's like, oh, what about the age of the Attitude Era? The Attitude Era is so overblown, so overrated. The Attitude Era is 85 to 90% crap. Just like any other era in professional wrestling, whereas the 20 to 10% that was the top stuff, yes, it was really good. But you had so much in the Attitude Era that no, the Attitude Era was not perfect. Yes, a lot more people got things to do in the Attitude Era. But people to sit there and actually think that the Attitude Era was the be-all, end-all for greatness, you're stupid. The biggest problem with the Attitude Era, with trying to recreate the Attitude Era, is you don't have the big stars like Stone Cold, like The Rock, like Triple H, like Undertaker. Those guys were a big reason why the Attitude Era is looked back as fondly as it is. Vince McMahon himself as the greatest heel in this company's history. The Attitude Era is looked back on it because of those characters. and those men in the company. You don't have people at that height. If the Attitude Era was filled with the mid stars that we have now, it wouldn't be looked back. It would not be looked back as great as an era as it is. If you don't have Hogan, I'm not Hogan, but Austin, Rock, Undertaker, Triple H, Mankind to a lesser extent, if you took all those guys out, the Attitude Era is nothing without them. Take Vince McMahon out. The Attitude Era is nothing but a bunch of it's a more grittier version of what you see now. Plain and simple. We'll just have to see what this post Vince McMahon era is for World Wrestling Entertainment. We now live in a world where Vince McMahon no longer has next to any ties left for WWE. He's relinquished all of his duties. He's no longer in creative. He no longer does anything else. It is just Stephanie and Nick Khan running CEO, the chairperson area, and Bruce right now running creative till he's out of there, and Kevin Dunn running his position till he's out of there. So much to look forward to, and no one. And I know we want to see change. We all want to see change. Nothing will change until Bruce Pritchard is gone, until Kevin Dunn is gone. Those guys were Vince McMahon's right-hand men. And as soon as they're gone, and you put people in there that are loyal to Triple H, Stephanie, and their team, their group, is when change will happen. What is that change going to be? Do not have a clue. We'll just have to sit there and wait. I don't think anything's going to change until after SummerSlam. I think SummerSlam is going to be the final flag of Vince McMahon, the flag of Vince McMahon being pulled out, and then Triple H and Steph putting their flag in for WWE, and Monday is the reboot. I don't expect to see anything different for Monday or next Friday until we get to the Monday after SummerSlam. I just don't see anything needing to change. And quite honestly, I would wait till after SummerSlam. If any change is going to happen on screen, I would wait till after SummerSlam, because SummerSlam is 8 nights away, and you're already building up to SummerSlam, even though the build is piss poor. Just get through this tonight, Monday, next Friday, go to SummerSlam, get through that, and then use that next Sunday and Monday to reboot WWE in the best way you can possible, and give us something better than what we've been getting. That's what I would do. So, let me know in the comment section below what you think of Vince McMahon retiring. I never thought I'd see the day. You cannot sit there and tell me you thought you would ever see Vince McMahon willingly retire from World Wrestling Entertainment. I, along with everyone else, figured Vince McMahon is going to be in his chair trying to figure out how to get to the next Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar match, or Austin Theory versus whoever match, and then just the heart stops and he just passes on in the chair. I've been saying it all the time to my dad. It's like, Vince McMahon's going to die in the chair. Everyone knows he's going to, but no, he's retiring due to what they want to tell you, these allegations. Now the biggest question coming is, what is going to happen to Austin Theory? Austin Theory has been Vince McMahon's protege since Survivor Series, I believe, last year. Became Mr. Money in the Bank because he was Vince McMahon's protege. What happens to him? What happens to Austin Theory? Will he even keep the cash? Will he even keep the briefcase? Does Triple H and Steph want him to have the briefcase? Will he actually cash in and be successful at SummerSlam? I absolutely doubt it. That's one of the biggest questions, is that you have this guy who the whole gimmick has been since Survivor Series is Vince McMahon's protege. I don't know what else you can say and what you can think of when it comes to all this. That's the biggest question on that. What's going to happen to Roman? Is Roman going to be brought back more often because he's no longer working under Vince McMahon, and Triple H and Steph want those titles to be on television? I'm not saying he's going to work house shows, but I feel because he's going to be on Monday, and it's been announced that the Street Profits and Matt Riddle are going to take on the Bloodline in a 6-man tag match on Monday. So that's the go-home show to Survivor Series. Also, it's Rey Mysterio's 20th anniversary. We'll see what happens with that. But, yeah, interesting. Another thing that happened tonight is they had a 30-minute town hall, pretty much, for the talent. All hands on deck. Everyone who was there had to be there to talk, discuss, and nothing was really important came out of it except the fact that apparently Brock Lesnar was pissed that Vince McMahon was gone, and that he walked out of the building. He's gone. He was gone. He left SmackDown and was going to take his ball and go home. Now, apparently, Vince McMahon was able to get in contact with Brock Lesnar and asked him to do not walk out on them. Go through tonight, go through Raw, go through SmackDown next week, go to SummerSlam, have the match with Roman at SummerSlam, do the honors, and then go home then. Don't walk out on them, because that's walking out on me and everything that we built together. Did it happen? Did it affect us? You'll have to find out later. But yeah, SmackDown started off, and we'll talk about that later with Stephanie and everything. And SmackDown wasn't really a good show because, again, I don't expect to see if there's any real change going to happen, I don't expect any real change to happen for any of these shows until after SummerSlam. It makes no sense to do it any other time. So, we're going to start off with Rampage, as we do. It's Anna Hangman Page and John Silver took on the Butcher and the Blade. This match is happening because, for whatever reason, John Silver wanted to give the Butcher a t-shirt that said The Butch on it. And that pissed off the Butcher and the Blade. They beat up John Silver and Alex Reynolds. Alex Reynolds had his face thrown into concrete, and and Hangman Page, of course, saved these guys from more harm. So that match happened tonight. It was an 8-minute match or so. Silver takes Blade down with an uppercut, followed by an elbow hit hits a side slam. Then goes for a pinfall, but Butcher breaks it up. Butcher and Blade deliver an assisted gutbuster with the Blade following up with a Dr. Bomb. Butcher tags in and Silver makes the tag to Page. Page delivers some elbows, and both men begin to hit one another with double lariats. Page hits a rolling lariat that sends Butcher off the rope. He then runs in. He gets draped over the top rope, which allows Silver to hit the German suplex, followed by a buckshot lariat for the 1, 2, 3. Butcher, Silver, and Hangman pick up the win. We got a video package for the Death Before Dishonor match between Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia. We'll talk about that after all this is wrapped up. Claudio Castagnoli comes out, he speaks, he addresses John's progression ahead of the world title match tomorrow night. He says the world championship has eluded him his whole career, and he thanks the fans for his support. He said he's never defined his career on how many championships he's won. He's defined how great he is by how the fans respond to him. He thanks them. He says he will crack Gresham's foundation. He says no one can hold a candle to what he can do in the ring. He says he can't think of a better way to continue the new chapter than beating Gresham. And he seemed to forget what he was supposed to say, because he wanted to say, and he was trying to go between your next Ring of Honor World Champion and new Ring of Honor World Champion. He kind of he tried to start speaking, and then he just what the fuck do I say? Oh, that's right. And he will be the new Ring of Honor World Champion. So a little messy there. We get a video package for Wardlow hyping up the TNT title reign. He says he wanted this title because it's been held by the best, and he'll beat the shit out of anybody from AEW, Ring of Honor, any promotion that wants to come in and step up. He is going to beat the shit out of you. So Wardlow wants to bring back the Open Challenge, which is what Cody's first run with the TNT Championship was the best run of that title up until Darby Allin and Miro had it. Simply because of the Open Challenge and him bringing in guys like Eddie Kingston and Ricky Starks, getting them jobs in AEW after their showings against him. And yeah, it's like, who knows where AEW would be and Ricky Starks and Eddie Kingston would be if it wasn't for the Open Challenge. I'm not saying they wouldn't be in AEW, but it is what it is. So we go to Matt Sydal with Dante Martin and Lee Moriarty. They are having a match here. This match is happening because last week Martin, Stokely Hathaway came up to Lee Moriarty and wanted to recruit him, and Matt Sydal was like, fuck off, I got a big match for you, and it's going to be you and Dante Martin, so that's why this match happened. Really fun match here between these two. Lee Moriarty he wants to get that big win. He wants to go out there and he's being more aggressive. He wants to show a more aggressive side to prove that he can be the guy in this, be an up and coming star in this match show. Now, halfway through the match, Stokely Hathaway comes out to the ramp and he's just loud. He's just watching. He's clapping every time Lee Moriarty does something. Now, Moriarty gets him in the Border City stretch, but Martin was able to grab the ropes eventually. Moriarty delivers a couple stomps before Martin counters with a sit-out powerbomb. Goes for the pin, but Moriarty kicks out. Martin looks for the nose dive, but manages to roll him up. Moriarty counters the roll-up into a pin, grabs the rope, 1, 2, 3, and he picks up the win. Lee Moriarty wins by grabbing the rope. Sydal gets on the mic and is like, dude, really? That's how you're going to be? That's what you're going to do? That's what you want to be known for? Are you kidding me? After everything we've been through, I believed in you. Well, here's an idea. How about next week, me, you, student versus teacher, and I'm going to kick your ass. Moriarty's walking backwards up on the ramp. He passes Stokely, who holds out his business card, and Moriarty just walks away, he just blows him off, and he's like, you know what? And nah, not right now. But you can see Stokely's got a smile on his face, like, he's not there yet, but I'm getting to him. I'm making him crack. More video hype package, this time from Mercedes Martinez and Serena Deeb. That's going to be a hell of a match. Then we get the Faker and Jamie Hayter versus Sky Blue and Ashley D'Amboise. Match didn't last very long. Jamie Hayter looked good. The Faker looked terrible, as she always does. And they picked up the win. Of course they did that. I mean, come on. Back for break, video hyping up Ari Daivari is making his debut in AEW soon on Proper, because he has been on AEW Dark Elevation as Arya Daivari, but we'll get more of that eventually when he comes to, which they put them in a tag team match on Death Before Dishonor for the pre-show, I believe it was. I don't understand why, because they haven't been formed yet in All Elite Wrestling, so I don't know why that's being happening. Gunstone, so we have the Max Caster and Austin Gunn rap battle. Gunn starts off calling Caster Bobby Lashley's sister, so apparently he must have been one of the 3 men who portrayed Bobby Lashley's sister in that awful segment all those years ago. Calls Caster's dad Rich and asks which one of the dad's careers ends faster. He ends up by saying, suck it. Caster's up and he says he's untouchable on the mic. First off, never do a rap battle without a beat. Why the fuck you would make these guys go out there and do this a cappella? You have a beat that you have played, and it's called Max Caster's theme song. Use it. Use the Acclaimed theme song or something. Do not have these guys go out there a cappella. They go back and forth a few times, and then Max Caster just rips him to shreds the very last time. And then, it's like, Little Scrappy, who was the judge, is like, he's like, dude, you have a chance to retort. He'd want your dad in this when it came to Austin. He's like, I'm not an ass boy. I'm not an ass boy. And of course, the Acclaimed won, so there is that. So, commentary runs down the card for the fight for the song. So, the Acclaim won, the Gun Club beat him down, and that match is going to have a stipulation probably next Friday on Fight for the Fallen. Commentary runs down Fight for the Fallen. Excalibur runs down the card for Fight for the Fallen next Wednesday in Death Before Dishonor. It has been announced that we get a couple more matches on Death Before Dishonor. Shinobi Shadow Squad, which is Cheeseburger and somebody else, versus the Trustbusters, which is Ari Daivari and Slim J, Jay Slim or whatever. Anthony Henry versus Colt Cabana. And where's it at? Ooh. I think it was 2 more, right? No. And Dragon Lee versus Bruce in a battle of brothers. That's gonna be a banger. Talk about that here in a minute. Jay Lethal versus Christopher Daniels. Bell rings. They go straight at it. Lethal delivers an uppercut followed by an elbow. Lethal delivers a backbreaker to Daniels and gloats he hits Daniels with an elbow, followed by a super kick. Daniels fires back to the Enziguri, followed by a back elbow. Daniels rains down right hands in the corner, followed by an STO. Lethal hits a back elbow, but Daniels fires back with a Blue Thunder Bomb. He goes up for a pin, but Lethal kicks out. Lethal hits a lethal combination, followed by the kick to the face. Hits a back bottle drop, followed by the lethal injection for the pin and the win. And of course, Jay Lethal's winning. After the match, they beat down on Christopher Daniels some more, and then he puts him in the Coquina clutch on the outside, while Sanjay Dutt yells and screams into the camera about Samoa Joe being a son of a bitch. Was this a great episode of Rampage? Not really. It was decent at best. It is what it is. It is just getting us to tomorrow's show, which I cannot wait. We got what looks like 10 matches going into Death Before Dishonor. I thought it was 11, but I think I was missing one somewhere. But we'll talk about that right now. I'll get to SmackDown because SmackDown really was overshadowed by the Vince McMahon stuff. But all right, let's talk about Death Before Dishonor. We have on 0 Hour. We have oh yeah, there was one more. There was a 6-man tag that's not on this list right here, which is the Gates of Agony and Brian Cage versus Alex Zane, I believe it was, Blake Christian, and Tony Deppen, I think is the 3. I'm going with the Gates with Tony Blanchard's Enterprise on that match. That match is obviously going that way. Allison Kay versus Willow Nightingale. This should be a heck of a women's match. I'm going with Willow Nightingale because she's signed to both of these, and I'm pretty sure Allison Kay is still with the NWA, and this is just alone. Shinobi Shadow Squad versus the Trustbusters. I'm going with the Trustbusters. I mean, they just advertised Ari Daivari on tonight's show, even though the Trustbusters hasn't been formed yet on Dark, which makes no sense why you would put them on this show in the first place. Let's go with the main card and the 6-man tag team, the Righteous versus Dalton Castle and the Boys. Obviously, I would have put the Gates of Agony and Brian Cage in this match and had them beat the Righteous, getting the tag team titles onto Tully Blanchard's Boys, but it is what it is. I'm going with the Righteous. I don't see Dalton Castle and the Boys having any reason to win this match. Colt Cabana versus Anthony Henry. That match is also on the 0 Hour. I forgot. Colt Cabana over Anthony Henry, obviously. Colt Cabana is exclusive, basically, to Ring of Honor. His days in the Dark Order is done. He is a Ring of Honor guy. Plain and simple. Roosh versus Dragon Lee. This is a toss-up, but since Roosh is on AEW television more often than not, I'm going with Roosh. This should be a banger of a match, though. This is one of many matches of the night that I'm looking forward to. Mercedes Martinez versus Serena Deeb. This could be another match of the night. I'm going with Serena Deeb. I think we got a new Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. There is no fucking reason why you cannot... they are wasting time to reward... it's time to reward Serena Deeb for the hell of a 2022 that she has had. She has been one of the most consistent, best wrestlers on the roster. Not just for women, but on the roster. She needs to be rewarded with a championship. If it's not going to be the TBS title and the AEW Women's title, it's got to be the Ring of Honor Women's title. Samoa Joe with Jay Lethal. I think Samoa Joe's winning this one. I honestly don't see a reason to give it to Jay Lethal. I think Jay Lethal should be chasing. And, I mean, yeah, you had Satnam Singh there for a reason to give you a fight to have a reason why Samoa Joe will have a challenge against Jay Lethal, but I think Samoa Joe. Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia. I'm saying Wheeler Yuta is going to keep this. I think this should be the final nail for the battle between the BCC and the BCC and the JAS. I think this needs to go to Wheeler Yuta. FTR versus the Briscoes, 2 out of 3 falls. I think this will go all 3 falls. And I think it's going to go to FTR, even though the Briscoes are signed to Ring of Honor. But I don't think until you have TV time that you're going to have the Briscoes win those titles back, because Warner Media apparently doesn't want them on AEW television. So FTR keeps them for now. And if Ring of Honor television gets announced, then you would have the Briscoes win the titles back sometime later this year. Jonathan Gresham versus Claudio Castagnoli. This one I am very torn on. Jonathan Gresham's held the title since Final Battle last year. Claudio Castagnoli is going after a championship he has never won before. A title that has eluded him his entire career. I would like to say they just turned Gresham heel, and I don't think you want to take the title out of the Tully Blanchard Enterprises just yet. Now, I would say if you would have the Righteous versus Tully Blanchard Enterprises instead of Dalton Castle and the Boys, I think that would have been an easy chance to say those guys win the six-man tag titles, and then Jonathan Gresham loses the World Championship to Carly Young Castagnoli, so there's still championship gold in Tully Blanchard's Enterprises. I'm going to say it's probably going to be Jonathan Gresham just because I don't see. Unless, if Ring of Honor TV is actually announced tomorrow, then Claudio wins. Because that'll be a hell of a guy to have be your first champion on, like, the champion going into television. But if there's no TV announced tomorrow, Jonathan Gresham wins. But I don't know. I don't think we're getting TV just yet. So I'm going with Jonathan Gresham. So I'm going with Tully Blanchard Enterprises for their match. Willow Nightingale over Allison Kay. The Righteous will retain their championships. Colt Cabana will beat Anthony Henry. Trustbusters beat the Shinobi Shadow Squad. Roosh over Dragon Lee. Serena Deeb over Mercedes Martinez. Wheeler Yuta over Daniel Garcia. Samoa Joe over Jay Lethal. The FTR over the Briscoes in 3 falls. And Jonathan Gresham over Claudio Castagnoli. So that is your Death Before Dishonor predictions. Let me know in the comment section below what you think and who you think is going to win, because I will be here tomorrow for that. And then I got to get some sleep, I guess, a little bit before the G1 comes back up tomorrow. We got SmackDown here. Stephanie McMahon is standing in the ring. She comes to the audience at SmackDown, dresses him Vince retiring, says that Vince wanted to thank the fans and all personnel. She says they're eternally grateful to everyone who leads the crowd in the thank you Vince chant, and that's basically all she had to say. I mean, you could definitely tell she was getting emotional. She did do the thank you Vince chant, and like before she left, the last thing you see is her take the mic down, drop like below her, and she says, "Thank you, Dad, for everything." So that is great for her to do that. Street Profits come out. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee greet the audience at home. The duo grabbed the mic and said they have information. They said they will become the new Undisputed Tag Team Champions at SummerSlam, and they want the smoke. In a very, very fired up promo by Angelo Dawkins. Out comes Austin Theory. He comes down in a massive booze. It says that no one cares because everyone will be too busy caring about what he does at SummerSlam. He says he'll win the United States title from Bobby Lashley, then cash in a Money in the Bank contract to become the new Undisputed Champion. Usos come out, and I'm like, oh, here we go. We just need one more, and we'll have a 6-man for the main event. They tell Theory if you won't make the SummerSlam and the Profits laugh, Theory tells them they will leave SummerSlam with nothing, and everyone starts brawling with one another. Theory and the Usos gain the upper hand before Madcap Moss, which there's your 6-man. They fly out, and the Profits deliver a double super kick to Theory, then fly over the top rope. The Profits grab the Raw Tag Team titles and stand tall. So that is how we do that. We go to a video package in the match between Ludwig Kaiser and Marcel Barthel, Walter, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Back in the ring, Nakamura comes out to a huge pop, and we had the commercial break. So, WWE's bad booking continues. I mean, like I said, I don't expect any real changes to happen, and I wouldn't have any real changes happen till SummerSlam is done. SummerSlam is the end of the Vince McMahon era, and then the Monday after is the Triple H, Stephanie, Nick Khan era. That's what I'm saying on that. That's what I would do. Bruce, Kevin Dunn, out of here. Their last days could be SummerSlam. That's a good place for them to end. Monday, you put your people in, and you just go from there. We get a video too. We already did that one. Back to break. Volta, Ludwig, and Ludwig Kaiser come to the ring. Shinsuke Nakamura takes on Kaiser. And this match was pretty much a rematch from 2 weeks ago. If you saw that match, you saw this one as well. The only difference is that Volta the entire time is yelling at every time Kaiser comes out. He's saying stuff in German, or he's yelling at him to get up and don't disrespect him, don't fall down, and like any of this stuff. He's like just berating this guy over and over and over and over again. To eventually where he starts interjecting himself in the match, and it leads to Nakamura gets him into an Okada roll, and Kaiser kicks out of it. Nakamura, the referee's not paying, has his eyes turned to the away. Walter nails Nakamura in the back of the head. Kaiser hits his DDT finisher and gets the pin in the win. After the match, the two stand tall. Walter tells him to put his hands down and act like he's going to chop him. And Martel is like, he's like, Kaiser's just like getting ready. He's like, I'm ready. I'm ready. And Walter just puts his hand on his back and is like, good job, lad. Good job. Kaiser's just like, all right, I'm good. And then Walter just chops him one more time and says, you can't let your guard down. At least I think that's what he said. Tells him you can't let your guard down. You should always be prepared. So, I like this. I like what they're doing with Walter. Walter, he's like, he shows no mercy. He gives no fucks. I just hope this doesn't lead to Walter, like Kaiser, going, I've had enough of this, and starts fighting back. I do not want to see that whatsoever. So, we'll see what happens with that, but I love what they're doing with Walter right now. I think it works pretty well. Back from break, commentary announces the main event will be the Street Profits of Madcap Moss versus the Usos and Austin Theory. We're going to hit a video of Liv Morgan cashing in and winning the SmackDown Championship. Rousey and Liv come face to face with Kayla Braxton backstage. She introduces Liv, who has plates now that just say Liv in. It's a black. You couldn't see it because he wasn't showing him, but it was up on his shoulder. It's just a black circle in the middle, and it has Liv in silver letters. That's it. That's what happens when you have somebody. It's not even the eye, her watch me eye or whatever. Like, you know, like the eyes that she has when they do her entrance, and it's like, watch me, those eyes are there. It's not even that, it's just black circle with Liv in silver, and that's it. Shows you how much they actually, like, put into this title reign. Braxton asks Rousey about the rematch. She says she respects Morgan, but she will beat her at SummerSlam. She says when she beats her, she expects Morgan to shake her hand like she shook hers. Morgan says she can't say for sure that she will retain her title against Rousey, but she will win because she wants this more than Rousey. She needs this more than Ronda Rousey, and she will sure to shake her hand when it's all said and done. Rousey says that's why we love you, Liv, because that's why people love you, because you have more passion than anyone in this locker room, except for me. No, I'm pretty sure she has more passion than you do. Just saying. We go to commentary, though, talking, and you could just see Michael Cole look to the side and move out of the way as bum-ass Corbin shows up, kicks Matt McAfee in the head, starts beating him up, throws him into the barricade, starts walking away. And Pat McAfee didn't do the babyface thing the WWE babyface thing, and sit down and look like a bitch and go, oh my jaw, I can't. No, he got his ass up. He chased Baron Corbin to the back, and they had a little bit of brawl until Adam Pearce and the other ones broke them up. We got a commercial break. Back from break, and Pat McAfee comes back to the ring and gets in the ring, and Ross Megan says, before he gets back to commentary, there's one thing to sing about, bum-ass Corbin. He can't hide at SummerSlam. He can't come around the corner. He can't attack him. You can't use diaper rash as an excuse. I will beat your ass and put the baby down for good. I butchered what he said, but he said what he said, and it was awesome. Pat McAfee is the highlight of SmackDown, and it's not even close. He is the best thing on SmackDown. Roman's not there enough to be able to be the best thing on SmackDown. Pat McAfee is the best thing. Give this guy all the fucking titles. Give him all the hats give him all the hats. Give him make him head of creative. Make him this. Make him that. The dude can do anything. He could make an entrance, grab the mic, give his opponent a ring introduction, and then beat that opponent's ass, and then go back on commentary and just commentate as if nothing happened. We go to a video package of the last week with the new, vicious, violent Viking Raiders. Back in the main, the New Day have joined with Xavier Woods wearing a ridiculous unicorn hat, which, when they were asking them about the Viking Raiders, Xavier Woods did bring up the fact that they were former Ring of Honor and IWGP World Tag Team Champions. So that feels like that's something that you wouldn't hear if it was Vince McMahon, so that's a step in the right direction. In my opinion, it's little things at a time. That is the first change. If that is a change, if that's something you would not expect for Vince, but it's okay because it's Vince McMahon, it's Triple H and Steph and all them running, then it's a small step, but it's a step. I like if Triple H and Steph and Nick Khan are gonna be like the opposite of Vince and actually want to go out there and acknowledge what these men and women did before they came to WWE. The fact that War Machine was a damn good tag team on the independents. They were the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. They were the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. They were NXT Tag Team Champions. They've been Raw Tag Team Champions. They're only missing SmackDown. And yeah, that's great. So when an independent talent or like an independent talent comes in, you go and you acknowledge where they've come from. That is great. Viking Raiders versus Jinder Mahal and Shanky. They changed Jinder's music. I don't like Jinder as a talent, but the one good thing he had was he had a banging theme. The dude had one of the best themes out there, and they fucking changed it. It's not the only theme they changed tonight, but they fucking changed it. Why does WWE change music? Could you imagine if Stone Cold Steve Austin, during his height of his power, one day came out to something? I know he came out to a Disturbed version, like Disturbed at one time, but that was towards the time that he turned heel. But I mean that period from 1997 to 1999. Or 1998 to 1999 before he went away to have surgery. Could you imagine halfway through that run, he comes out to some other music that's not the Break the Glass and that classic Jim Johnson theme? Could you imagine what that would have done to Austin's aura if he would have came out to a different theme? The Viking Raiders had a banging NXT theme that I don't think was done by CFOs. Jinder Mahal had a banging theme. He's not the best in the ring, but he had a hell of a theme. Like, Walter, I swear, they change his music every fucking week. It's a gimmick now. The dude comes out to a different theme every single week, I swear. This match lasted a minute. Mahal and Ivar spill outside of the ring. Mahal beats Ivar down in the forearms. Ivar sends Mahal into the ring stairs, then into the New Day. And the Viking Raiders win by countout. Yeah. The new, vicious, violent Viking Raiders are happy with the countout win over Jinder Mahal and Shanky. Wow. It's just, back to the theme, it's like, I don't understand why they can continue to change people's theme songs. Like, Charlotte Flair Showbout 9000 has a remix of her dad's old theme. Could you imagine when she makes her return, she loses that? Like, they have somebody in, like, could you imagine, like, we go to SmackDown next week and she makes her miraculous return, whatever. Someone's cutting the promo in the ring, and we see this person in the ring, and music starts playing, and the Titantron says Charlotte Flair, but it's not that remix that she's been using since NXT. It'd be like, who the fuck is this? And then it goes over and it's, oh my god, it's Charlotte. They changed the theme. Why do you continue to do this? I don't understand it. Changing a wrestler's theme is paramount to their presentation. Triple H, could you imagine, like, after Triple H found the game theme from Motorhead, him coming out to anything else during the height of his second run after the torn ACL, whatever his injury was on his leg. But could you imagine if he came out 6 months later after he made his return to the game by Motorhead, coming out to some alternate music because WWE didn't want to pay the rights to the game by Motorhead? Could you imagine that? Or The Undertaker, I know, like, he had two different themes or something with the biker, but like he's like his dead man persona. He comes out to the funeral march, and then after that he comes out to some other spooky like theme. It would hurt the presentation. Like I said, Jinder Mahal is not the best wrestler in the world. He's not. But he had a theme, and it's like you hear that theme come on, and you know Jinder Mahal is coming. Stone Cold Steve Austin, you hear that glass break, you know Stone Cold Steve Austin is coming. You hear that opening bar to the game, you know Triple H is coming to the ring. You hear the beginning of Sexy Boy start playing, you know the Heartbreak Kid is coming to the ring. You hear If You Smell, you know the business is about to pick up because The Rock is coming to the ring. Like, for example, at the Royal Rumble this year, Shayna Baszler had an awesome theme. She had that horse gallop in it, and then she had her theme play. When she came out for the Royal Rumble, her theme music was changed, and like with like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and this music plays, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? We point over, Shayna Baszler. I'm like, what? Why would you change that theme? That theme was great. It was perfect for Shayna. Why would you change it? Why? It's just like, I hope this is still, like I said, I don't see any actual changes happening in WWE until Bruce Pritchard and Kevin Dunn and any other crony that is a Vince McMahon suck up is gone. And this ain't it, man. Like, I'm so tired of, like, how are we supposed to get invested in anybody when it's like the Viking Raiders have had their theme changed twice? The New Day, what are you going to do if the New Day have a different theme when they come in? It's like, it's a new day, yes it is, and then they have some other theme play. It hurts the presentation. It's so dumb. Anyway, backstage, Adam Pearce is on the phone. Sonya Deville approaches him and makes fun of him, and that money she paid for slapping him a couple weeks ago says that it can be used to hire someone new. Pearce tells her that's enough, and she has a match against Raquel Rodriguez later tonight, which shocks Sonya Deville. Back in the ring, here come the Brawling Brutes. Back to commercial break, back from break. There's a table with a green cloth over it. In the ring, Sheamus says the place is floundering and calls the fans fake Irish folks. He says they will make history tonight. He says that he thought he was supposed to bro kick Drew McIntyre's head off, and he would be not doing that until his sword is banned from ringside. He calls him a lunatic for trying to chop his head off and says the sword has no place in the ring. Drew's music kid, he comes out and brings down his sword. Sheamus tells him the sword has no place in the ring as Rich Holland takes Pete Dunne outside the ring after he gets riled up because it's like, let me at him, Scoob! Let me at him, Scoob! That's literally what he is. It's like, why are we having Pete Dunne be Scrappy-Doo? Can we get Pete Dunne back and not this fucking Scrappy-Doo wannabe? He asks the humble Sheamus for a beginning of his career. He's like, no, I'm sorry. He asks, Sheamus, what happened to you? When did you become a bitch? He asks where did the humble Sheamus from the beginning of the career, and says the company needs a good champion because the champion right now is holding it hostage. Tells him that he wants to do the number one contender match right now and tells him to have some balls. Sheamus says he's better than McIntyre and says that if he wants to fight, then he will get it, but not tonight. He says that next week's SmackDown in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match will happen. McIntyre's sword is banned, but he pulls the cloth up and says, but these are allowed. And there are at least 10 shillelaghs on this table. Adam Pearce comes out and says it will be, and Matthew, it's official. Sheamus has a shillelagh laying on top of the bridging onto the rope. McIntyre takes a sword and cuts right through that, and that was that. So we get a good old shillelagh fight. Why don't you just make it for SummerSlam, which I don't know is the night after. Come on. Paul Heyman approaches the Usos and says, don't take Theory out immediately because it'll be 3-on-2. Use him for what he's good for, and then at the end of the night, make sure he's laying face first on the canvas. And let's not make that a prediction. Let's make that a spoiler. Raquel Rodriguez comes to the ring and she has new music. Why? It's definitely more racially sensitive. It sounds like a Mexican. It sounds like a song from Mexico. I can't think of what words I'm thinking of, but it sounds like some Mexican group, like a group from Mexico or something, put the song together. Why? What was wrong with her other theme? Again, if you were looking at the crowd and looking at the ring and that thing came up and it said Raquel Rodriguez and we didn't see it, it'd be like, who the fuck is that? That's not Raquel's theme. Why do you keep doing this? This match lasted about 3 minutes. Rodriguez wins with her keto bomb or whatever the fuck they call it. Get a video package hyping up the Bloodline. We'll be taking on the Street Profits of Matt Riddle on Monday, as well as Logan Paul is doing his own cosplay version of Miz TV. Do not care. Aaliyah comes to the ring. Lacey Evans follows with loud boos. We're supposed to have Lacey Evans versus Aaliyah again. Lacey Evans insults the crowd, says she wants respect. She deserves better. She does. She's better than every single fan. Aaliyah grabs her, and Evans says she will take care of her in a minute. Delivers the women's right and walks off. 3 weeks in a row, you make Aaliyah look like a joke. We're getting more cuts this year, aren't we? And Aaliyah's definitely going to be on it. Hey, Caleb Braxton is backstage with Jeff Jarrett. Braxton asks, why do you think Adam Pearce chose him in the first... He says, first off, the sport has been overwhelming. He calls the match the biggest in the history of SummerSlam for tag team wrestling. He says they need a man who can get the job done and call it right down the middle. This is Jeff Jarrett. Give me a fucking break. He says that is JEFFJARRET. That is J Jeff Jarrett. And then the very next night, he's wrestling Ric Flair and Andrade in Ric Flair's last match. Quote unquote, last match. We get a commercial break, but before that, Maxine Dupree is backstage. It is apparently the girlfriend or the girl of Von Wagner, some Cromwell or whatever the fuck her name was, I don't know. It's not Ginny, I know that. Says she is the new director of talent. She'll be presenting the new beachwear collection next week. So maybe they dropped LA Knight from the Maximum Male Models. Maxine Dupree will take it over and we can get LA Knight or Eli Drake back because he deserves better than this. If you want to do this model thing right, a woman would be the better option in my opinion. Street Profits come to the ring, Madcap Moss as well, Theory comes to the ring, Usos come to the ring as well. Usos in Theory versus Street Profits and Monta in Madcap Moss. This match was good. It was a really good match, and halfway towards the end of the match, Austin Theory is like, you know what? I'm not going to tag you in. I'm not going to tag in. I'm just going to drop down. He gets hit with a super kick. Gets thrown onto the edge of the ring. Tagged in. The Usos go to leave, but the Street Profits stop them. Madcap Moss is the legal man. Him and Austin Theory battle for a while. And so Austin Theory hits him with the briefcase, giving us a DQ for the Usos and Madcap Moss. Because the Street Profits and Madcap Moss. Because the Usos cannot win anyway, outside of a tag team match. I fucking hate this shit. He continues to assault him with the briefcase when all of a sudden, big, beefy Brock music hits. He comes to the ring. He circles around. He's got the biggest smile on his face. He enters the ring. Immediately catches Austin Theory in the gut. Hits him with the F5. Takes his briefcase and starts beating the shit out of Austin Theory with the smile on his face. Follows it up with another F5. Puts his hat. Tips it off probably to Vince and ends the show like that. SmackDown was a meh show. AEW Rampage was a show. Not a really good show for either one of them tonight, but SmackDown, like I said, I don't expect any changes on SmackDown until after SummerSlam. I wouldn't do that either. I would not just blow up everything you've done 8 days away from SummerSlam. Just Vince McMahon and whoever else had it mapped out for SummerSlam. You start building and redoing this company and redoing everything on TV the Monday after SummerSlam. Everything before that, I wouldn't mess with. Just let it play out. You're almost at the finish line anyway. Let's just get there. Now, as for Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor, I will see you guys tomorrow on that. I cannot wait. 11 matches. 3 on the pre-show, 4 on the pre-show, whatever it is. Cannot wait to see this all. Hit that subscribe button down, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds the France Club, find me on twitch.tv/the France Club, and find me on Instagram, the France Club. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Death Before Dishonor. Until then, my name is France, and I'll see you guys later.